There's my greasy air cleaner cover. Everything is sprayed with grease and now fluid film. There's the compound from Pisser. I'm making this video to show where's Lil Feller that my 84 6.2 is a little different than his, in that mine's a 3/4 ton and it's over the US federal requirement for pollution controls on diesel engines, blah 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 blah. My CDR, which separates the vapors and puts them back into the intake, is here on top of my alternator. On his, it's over there. I don't know if that was a year change, I forget, or the 3/4 are different than the half tons, but his is a half ton, mine's a 3/4. I also don't have an EGR in the middle of my air cleaner. Wide open! And my EGR brings the fumes in underneath, right there. Brings them into the intake underneath. So I don't remember where his were, but he was worried about the fact that he had a lot of oily residue. I guess I do too, but after 265,000 miles, who cares, huh? Yeah, did his bring it into there or there? I forget. I saw the video, but I forget where his fumes re-entered the engine. But it basically just fell off my bumper. Wow. Ow. Grease all over my wrist. I slipped from there. Anyhow, I just put this crappy shirt on this morning. Now I got a big greasy fluid film. Yeah, right there. Anyhow, what I was saying was, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the fumes from my worn piston rings come out of my oil filler tube. I gotta regain my composure after falling off the bumper. If I had golf shoes with studs, I wouldn't have slipped off. So the fumes, if there are any that come out of here, get recycled when the engine calls for it by whatever that little valve inside. It's just a one-way valve with a rubber seal. It just allows the fumes to re-enter the engine, and it does it based on blah 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 vacuum pressure. So let's crank this baby up, and I gotta clean my sleeve off. Hang on a second. Yep, I slipped. Slip and fall. Never know when the shoot is gonna happen. You just never know. You never know what the future brings. I was just unloading some boards out of the back of my truck and loading them up into the attic with Fruit Loops, and a guy drove by with a seamless gutter truck, so I yelled at him and he came over and made us a quote. And it's funny because Mrs. CW just had a guy come look at the job this morning, and another guy just happens to drive by from out of the area. So all of a sudden, just out of the blue, I got some grease on the camera. Out of the blue, we got 2 quotes for gutters because the apartment building. Sorry for that. Ooh, and the battery thing is loose. This apartment building needs gutters. It's got no gutters now, and it's a mess. It's got 6 feet of gutters. It's just a mess. Water comes down off the roof and just splashes everywhere, and it's just terrible. So anyways, what was I doing? I fell off the bumper. Let's crank this no dash 6.2 Suburban up. Crank her up. News. A little bit of smoke, 265,000. And what this thing does is it sucks the smoke back into the engine, recycles it based on the pressure of the engine and vacuum, I don't know. You know that diesels run at full throttle all the time. The throttle on a diesel is wide open. No butterflies. That's why you can run a diesel engine with no intake manifold whatsoever. So anyways, I offered Where's Lil Feller. He wants to take off his intake manifold to change one of the fuel lines. I said it's an awful lot of work to change a fuel line. Take off the intake manifold, a lot of bolts. And the smoke that comes out of here after you turn the engine off is irrelevant. It's just fumes. It's the pressure when your engine is running that matter. It shows you how your rings are worn. So anyways, if he's interested, I have an intake manifold with no EGR exhaust gas recirculation valve to slow down the monstrous air intake that is required of the diesel engine. And this is product of USA at AC Delco Genuine Air Filter. If I had some air here, I'd blow it out, get the dust out of it. Probably got some pisser dust in it. Yep, time for a new belt soon. They don't last long. 45.5 inches. Sometimes I have the cover here. Nope, not around. Got to test my batteries too. One of these batteries may be weak or my starter has to be changed. Open it up and fix it. All right, thanks for looking. Let's go do something else, like clean some dirty windows.